So the first rap that I ever did was was to a track called Both of Us by Taylor Swift. And I remember getting on stage and I was just like so in the moment. I was just like spitting the verses and I was like, yeah, this is going great. And then I get off stage and I'm just on that high of just like, oh my god, I just got on the stage and rap. And I remember a couple of my friends coming over and they were like, don't ever do that again. And I was like, what? I was so shattered. But then I guess, yeah. So the rap happened, and then after that review, I don't think I've actually ever let myself be publicly seen rapping because I was like, no, this is not gonna be my forte. So then the 10th grade band performance happened, and then fast forward all the way to 12th grade where we were again doing a band performance. I was Rihanna in Love the Way You Lie and Sia, and it was really fun. And that was how my entire music journey was. And then it took a complete right turn when I was in college. And I say this story again and again because it's truly quite important in my music journey. Because you know how some people come into your life and they just revolutionize something. So at this point in my life, my guitarist, his name's Anubhav Das, he played a very pivotal role in Letitia as the singer-songwriter that you see her today. What really changed it for us, changed the game for me and for him, is that we decided to jam together. And I remember the first time that we sat, he told it to me and he was like, let's write our own music, right? Let's focus on originals. And then when he said that, I was just like, that makes so much sense. Yeah, let's do that. And then I remember he brought his little book of songs and I brought mine, and then we just started jamming, and then we wrote our first song called Mercy. And we started a band called Antimatter. It's ANTEMATTER. We're also there on Instagram. So then that started, and that is where everything really changed. And I feel like 3 years of being in a band with him and then seeing other musicians in Kochi, etc. Right now, very recently is when I've actually started my independent solo career as an artist. But I'm really, truly, when I throw my memory all the way back to that 9-year-old who was handed a Britney Spears cassette, I don't think I would have ever imagined life transpiring in this fashion. But I guess that's just how things turn out, yeah. That's actually a very interesting question and something that I've sort of been trying to grapple with for 4 years. When I first started law, I was quite conflicted because I was like, how would I do this music and how would I do law? Because law is not, it's creative in its own way, but it's not artistic. By taking up litigation, because once you start interning, you really start understanding, you start gauging what the society is around you. So when I slowly start to transition between, the litigation phase of my life into slowly the fact that no matter how much I try to run away with it, music is an integral part of what I do now. For me as a person, I've decided to pursue both. I do plan on becoming an entertainment lawyer as well as a professional musician. So I feel like law and the music business and art are sort of really tied together in the industry. So any which way I go, it would work out for me either way. Yeah. So if we're talking about the Kochi music scene, I have so much to tell you. They are literally like family to me. So Kochi music scene has embraced Antimatter and Letitia in all its forms. Because I remember when you start off, like you said, when you start off as a young artist or as an upcoming artist, and when you're sort of like a newbie, new kid on the block, it's sort of difficult. It's sort of difficult to find the opportunities, but not because of the reason why we think so. For me, when I started off around 4 years back, I was extremely fortunate because of the fact that I was already in touch with people that were killing it in the Kochi music scene or were in the right direction. So I think that was a huge turning point for me. It is that you need to know the people who are doing the things. So your network is your net worth, is what somebody that I follow quite usually like to say. So with regards to opportunities when it comes to Kochi music scene, it's really a question of what kind of opportunities are you trying to look for. If you're looking for, let's say, opportunities for you to sing, there are an umpteen number of opportunities in Kochi now, because of the fact that now you have open mics and you have paid events and other things, and then house shows, and it's really nice than it was like 4 years back. So now it's like there's so many opportunities for you as an artist who's upcoming and who wants to try out their music with the Kochi crowd to come out and actually do it, which is really good. But if you're looking for opportunities on a higher end, then it really depends on exactly what I was telling you, right? Network, quality of music, these kind of determinants really play a role. So, and it really depends on how you place yourself with regards to the quality of music you make and the network you make. So for me, starting out, I was very lucky to have people who were already in the game initiating me into it. And antimatter into it. I was able to make friends with some amazing musicians who are so passionate about music. Sometimes when you're surrounded by the love for the art, you truly cannot help but just be moved in that sea of music and celebration. It all just becomes like this one big family, and it's amazing. I have so much to say about Kochi music scene. Yeah. So up until I think for a long time, I used to wonder if my originals would get the same traction as covers do. But then what we need to realize is the question really needs to be about why does a cover get traction? Because a cover is about a really good song, and why is a song so good? And then you try to figure out, okay, so if that cover or if that song is that good, how do I make my original just as good? So then once you figure that out, it's just a really game of like practice, perfection, getting your art to that level. So this is probably my favorite question, and I'll tell you and you'll understand completely in a while. Lockdown has been really instrumental because of two reasons, okay? One is this book, and I'll show you. There's this book, I don't know if you see it. This is The Artist's Way for people who haven't read it. Starting with The Artist's Way. So I started The Artist's Way last year. The Artist's Way is a course in discovering and rediscovering your creative self, right? So last year when I did it, I stopped around 8 weeks, and then I think I just I think something happened, something intervened, and I stopped it completely. But whatever that I learned in those 8 weeks of Artist's Way has really transformed an entire year of thinking. It's taken my creativity, the way I see art, the way I see myself, the way I see other artists, to a completely different route. So then this time when lockdown happened, I happened to take the decision of going back to do it again, and I think it has been the most life-changing decision. I cannot tell you. Once the Artist's Way process starts, you really start to introspect and you try to figure out, okay, this is there, I need to undo this, I need to undo this. So many toxic thought patterns that kept me from reaching that artistic expression that I really wanted to. So lockdown has been really good for me, really kind to me, because I was able to go into the Artist's Way completely. And then the second thing is with regards to this project that I started called Milestone. So Milestone is something that I'm very passionate about. I am I'm very passionate about helping others achieve their goals. So for me, it's like I know what it is like to just sit down and do something in my to-do list, and I make umpteen number of to-do lists every single day. So for me, there's a certain level of a dopamine kick when I tick something off of my to-do list, and I want that for others. When my friends do something that they've been putting off for a really long time, or they finally get around to that project, or hitting that gym, or even just getting up at like a time that they wanted to, it makes me really happy, because I know that that person is doing their hardest towards a better life that they think that they want to have. There are others who just need a little push, a little text from somebody asking them, hey, did you do this today that you said you would? Or, hey, how are you doing? Something of that sort. And I really felt that if I had a friend like that, I would be, a little more productive. And thankfully, I do have friends like that who know my goals and like check up on me once in a while. So I wanted to be that for somebody else. And that's why I started this project called Milestone. So what I do is every Sunday, I just put out a post on Instagram and I ask for people to come join me, form a team together. We tell each other our goals for the week, and then we just keep each other motivated. There's like daily morning and evening check-ins to see if everybody's done their goal for the day, and then try to like keep each other in a positive environment. So then I put it up, and I started off looking for 3 people. And then by the end of the day, I had 3 people, and I was like, okay. And that was 3 weeks back, and they're still with me. And they're like, once the first week ended, I was like, okay, I wonder if there's gonna be people in the next week. And then I remember the people who were already with me, they were like, okay, so for my goal next week, and I'm like, wait, hold on, you're still staying? Oh, that's so sweet. I was like, that is so amazing that people would take a chance, so people actually benefit from it. So I'm very happy. I really have to thank the lockdown, because it gave me the opportunity to start The Artist Way, and through The Artist Way I was able to start Milestone and work on my music, and that's how lockdown has really impacted my creativity. We got that yummy, yummy, yummy. That's really jam. Man, these rapid fire questions are not good. If he's watching right now. Oh man, if the world ends. John Mayer, hands down. What is one song that defines me? Oh man, I can say more than one. That's not good. Now that's like too many. I'm spasming. My originals really define my song, so I would say that my original Little Did I Know, if you haven't heard it, check it out. And then Little Did I Know defines my life right now. And my jam would definitely be Beyonce, all of her songs, like all of them. There's no genre that I don't enjoy. What I don't listen to is a lot of trap or EDM music. I don't listen to it a lot, but if you give me the right situation, I'd probably grow. That would be my jam, but yeah. Oh man, okay. Beyonce, Eminem, John Mayer, my favorite band, PVRIS, who call them Paris, with Nicki Minaj, the Black Keys, really good. Oh my god, Hailstorm. There's these really good female lead vocalists that really bring in the punch in this moment. Hailstorm, The Pretty Reckless, these are all like my idols, yeah. I feel like this is like a double-edged sword if I ever answer that. I would say Justin Bieber would be somebody, I have nothing against him, it's just okay. Literally, do you want indie musicians or popular? I have this friend of mine who has a band called Chidakasha, and they have this song called Tigress, and I love that song, and I was like, God damn it, I wish it was mine! But then yeah, that and all of Beyonce's tracks, all of them. Yeah. No! John Mayer's works. I can't stop. Just stop me. Stop me.